Yes, sir, it's your man Makell Bird, Maktown TV, Maktown Radio, the dopest show in every dimension. And today we have a special episode because there's something very strange going on the internet. For those who don't know, there was a man by the name of Kevin Samuels who was a self-proclaimed, MGTOW man, men going their own way, self-proclaimed red-pilled man, self-proclaimed alpha male. And we have a problem here, though, because he's been saying a lot of things on his YouTube channel throughout various videos where he's making several claims about himself. Number one, he says that he is a high-value male. And then the question becomes, well, can you prove that? And things become ultimately strange because if you check his website, none of the stuff he's saying really adds up. And I'll show you what I mean. We're actually on his website right now. This is bykevinsamuels.com, which is his official website. And red flag number one would be, you'll notice that he's using the very generic picture of a bunch of suits hanging up, which sort of kind of looks like the suits that he wears. Now, that actually becomes a second red flag in itself, because I've noticed after watching a lot of his videos that he's sort of wearing the same suits over and over again. So there's no, like I said, where is the proof, right? This is a generic picture that he pulled off the internet. But things become even stranger because right now we're on his fact page at the top, right? And this is all the more interesting because under the refund policy section, it says, in the state of Oklahoma, whereby Kevin Samuels, Inc., and its subsidiaries, divisions, and affiliates are headquartered, there is no right to cancel contracts, blah, blah, blah. So, multiple times now, he has told the women calling into his show and the men that he's in Atlanta, Georgia. So let me ask you people a question here. If you're a fan of Kevin Samuels, or if you're just somebody who's familiar with Kevin Samuels, you've seen his videos on YouTube, the question becomes, is there any proof? Is there any proof that you're a high-value man and that you're earning six figures the way that you say you are? Now, things get stranger because, once again, he said he's in Atlanta, and he even said that he lived in Houston, but his website clearly states that he's in the state of Oklahoma. And it says, as you can see right here, Kevin Samuels, Inc. So I did a little research. And if anybody knows how a business license works, you know that almost all business licenses, they're processed in the United States of America. They're processed through what is called the Secretary of State. And since he's based in Oklahoma, we are now on the Oklahoma Secretary of State website where you can search up any legit business, right? Because number one, you would have a filing number, as you see all through here, right? All through here. You would have a filing number, and then somewhere else you would have an issued business license number. But when you search Kevin Samuels, you can go through all the listings, page after page after page, and there is no Kevin Samuels LLC. Even here, you search, there's no Kevin Samuels, Oklahoma Tax Commission, no Kevin Samuels. And here it says on his own website, Kevin Samuels, Inc., right? But there is no Kevin Samuels, Inc. in the state of Oklahoma. And so one could say, oh, well, he's in Atlanta now. Well, okay, there's no record of that either. We checked. So Kevin Samuels, Inc. does not exist. Now, let me get here. Hold on just a second. This is another thing that I sort of noticed. This is a picture of him that you'll see posted in a lot of his YouTube videos. He uses this almost as an image to promote himself. Now, when you click on the corporate tab, it turns out that he's literally just sitting at a restaurant. Like when this picture was taken, he probably he could have did one of two things, right? And people who are familiar with these services know what I'm talking about. He could have hired a photographer to walk with him around Oklahoma or Atlanta or wherever the hell this picture was taken at, and the photographer could have took pictures of him. That's actually pretty cheap to get that done. I saw that as cheap as $30 an hour. Now, or he could have did option B, which is he just set his phone up on a timer and he puts his phone up on a tripod or something like that, and then boom, the picture's snapped. So he didn't even hire a photographer. It's literally just him taking a picture of himself, right? And you can do that if you have a tripod and timed software for pictures, right? Now, things become interesting. And let me get back here real quick. That was the personal tab. You see same restaurant, different pictures, not too many waiters in the background. Same restaurant though. Now when we click on corporate, here's where things get even stranger, because as you can see here in the first couple of paragraphs, it says 25 years, with over 25 years experience in corporate business-to-business sales and training, with 12 of those being in advertising and marketing sales. Now, we have a new question. What companies are they? You said you've worked, and he said this on his YouTube videos too, you said you worked in several corporate businesses, but how come he never tells us what those businesses were or what they are? How come we never hear any type of actual business listing? You get what I'm saying? So the plot thickens. Now, that's that. That's pretty much that, people. But let me ask you guys a question. Because when you use your common sense, things get trickier, right? On several videos, he said he's a high-value man, but once again, how can he prove that? If you're making 6 figures a year, as he claims, then how come he doesn't live in a big house that he's taking pictures of? And I'm not saying that he necessarily has to give us his address. No. I'm just saying usually when somebody's actually rich like that, they're sort of flaunting their wealth. They're flexing on people, right? But in reality, what do we have here? All we have is a black man in a suit, which he wears frequently, sipping from a Red Bull can with a straw. Now, things also get a little more hairy because a lot of the people that have watched his videos have gotten to the comments and they said that Kevin Samuels is actually a gay man pretending to be straight so that he can sort of tell women about themselves. Now, let me be clear. I'm actually a fan of Kevin Samuels' content, but that doesn't, displace the fact that he could potentially be a total fraud, right? He's never revealed any information that would help us determine whether he's lying or not. He has certain tendencies where he moves his, and I've had partners that point this out, he has certain tendencies where like he moves his hands a certain way, the way a gay guy would, right? And certain mannerisms in his face when he's talking to these women. It's like a gay guy's talking to him, right? The way he sort of takes his, snaps his head back and stuff like that. Very strange, people. There is no Kevin Samuels Inc. There is no business license to be found. There is no proof that he lives in Atlanta, which that's another thing. It's he says he lives in Atlanta, but anybody can get an Airbnb and, go to Atlanta for a weekend and take pictures. That's not proof that you live in Atlanta. Anybody can get an Airbnb, right? All we have ever seen is a man in a suit in front of his computer on his desk making videos in what appears to be a one-bedroom apartment. We've only ever seen him in 2 rooms in what he confirmed is an apartment. He didn't say condo. He never gave away the building. Nothing like that. He's not in a house. Isn't that strange? Isn't it strange that a guy who makes 6 figures is not in a house and everything about him is mysterioso and hidden? That's that, people. Makell Bird, Maktown TV. The dopest show in every dimension. And I'm out. Peace.